Shalom, shalom again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all Akim out there doing this work in sincerity and charity with humility across the four winds. To you I salute, putting your lives to do so, risking your lives to do so. This is the brother Yahweh from the GMS Farmers Camp. I got you with a brief lesson. Tonight the lesson is based around doing the things Israel doing, following the customs of these heathen nations, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai scattered us in the four winds. Israel scattered in every nation on this planet, but yet, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai say don't follow the ways of the heathens, because this they call this time, they call this Easter time, and our people celebrate these time big time, big time. They celebrate these times, because they celebrate this rabbit laying chocolate egg. Rabbit don't lay egg, and chocolate at it, and being in captivity, doing captivity time. We know Israel was doing the customs, following the customs of them heathen nations where they did dwell, and up to the day they still following these customs. They ain't changed. At least the 2/3, they ain't changed that at all. They still celebrating Christmas and Easter and Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthday. They celebrate. They call Flag Day. They call it, Independence Day. All different type of days they celebrate. Which in these things is not in the scriptures. Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, don't follow the ways of the heathens. In this kind of time, 2/3 and the heathens, they celebrating this what they call Easter. Big time, and we in our solemn feast time right now. We in the time of the Passover. And that them hot cross bun, they full of yeast and baking powder, and they consuming them on a wide scale out there. They not only that, they eating all kind of different things as well. Because you get all kind of different activities going on right here in my small country, both around in Sidon Islands, what they call homecoming, regatta, and all that different type stuff. So we know only thing Israel doing is sinning. That's all the 2/3 right now doing is sinning. Especially these Benjamites down here in the Bahamas where I dwell. But Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, do not lie in the ways of heathen. But we know that being in captivity, they learn these things, they learn the ways of the heathens, and then 2/3 still continue to follow them. They ain't try to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and try to celebrate these solemn feast days. The real holidays of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Days where you, like now, where we supposed to be in solemn right now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But like I say, Israel just out of their head. And they ain't trying to change that. This book of Jeremiah 10. Salakia 10 and 2. 2 to 5. Salakia. Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah 10 and 2. And this Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Thus said the Most High, line not the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, For the heathen are dismayed at them. We know when you see when the heathen see certain things in the sky, like for an example, when they see them chariots, they call them UFOs, unidentified flying object. Even the two-thirds, when they see them, they follow the same thing. Us here GMS who nowadays we ain't following that trend. We ain't on that road with them. We following the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and we celebrating the feast days of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And it reads, "Thus said the Most High, line not the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them." The heathens are dismayed at these signs, because they call them what they won't call them. They saying things they see, they call it global warming, they call it mother nature, they call them aliens. These the things the heathens do. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai said we are not supposed to follow the ways of the heathen. We ain't supposed to dwell in their customs. We're supposed to depart from that shit, and follow the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Do the customs of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Keep the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and keeping these solemn feast days, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it reads, "For the customs of the people are vain for one color Salakia." No, I can stop that right there, because that going into something. I mean, it into a heathen custom, but still, that based on Salakia. I can read that anyhow. "For the customs of the people are vain for one color they tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman." With the axe, it's talking about Christmas. Because we know what they do during the Christmas time. They go and they get these Christmas tree, they decorate them with all different type of ornaments or whatever they call them. And then they say they celebrating Yahweh Shai Mashiach by day. They don't and where in the scriptures documented where Yahweh Shai by day is Salakia, where Yahweh Shai by day is documented in the scriptures. It's nowhere in the scriptures. But that's what they're saying, because that's what they was taught. That's what they learned, but they never try to get that out of themselves. They continue to celebrate these heathen customs. They continue to follow the ways of the heathens. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai ain't down with that. He ain't down with that, because we are brothers in our Great Millstone, and brothers out there who know, they ain't doing it. We ain't following the ways of the heathen, like the two-thirds and these other heathen nations. We are not doing that. We celebrating the feast days and the customs of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's what we doing. But we know Jake full of shit. Jake just love foolishness. And they ain't trying to get out of that. They ain't trying to learn nothing. That's why Yahweh Shem Yahushai can destroy a lot of them. They get the judgment coming. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai for doing this. Because the scriptures say you're not supposed to follow the ways of the heathens. And doing the following the customs of the heathens, that's an abominable thing, especially unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You're supposed to do that. It's the book of Leviticus 18 and 3, and it reads, "After the doings of the land of Egypt." Now we had a lot of people in Egypt following this custom, doing what the Egyptians do, because they get this saying when you in Egypt, you do what you do as the Egyptians do, and this is what they was doing. "Wherein ye dwell," Slakia, take that from the top again. "After the doing of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelled, shall ye not do." Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, don't do the things you was doing in Egypt, following the Egyptians, doing the customs of the Egyptians. And after the doing of the land of Canaan, wherein I bring you, don't do it there neither. Shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinance, following their customs, doing the things they doing. Yahweh Shem Yahushua ain't down with that. And we know right now we in this Easter time, and our people is heavy into the celebrating this Easter basket, you know, and Easter egg hunt and all different type of shit they doing, and they believe this is a part of saving the Most High, because they believe this spiritual to them. To them, there's something spiritual, which we know it is not, but we know that we are in some spiritual times. We are in spiritual times here at GMS, because we are in the Passover, and the time of unleavened bread, and it's beautiful that Yahweh Shem Yahushua give us this understanding and know these things, that, maybe it'll be we just hope that we be, can saved through these times, believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and his customs and doing them, This is the book of Leviticus 20 and 23. Leviticus 20:23. And ye shall not walk in the manner of nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua can destroy them for that. And he telling you, don't follow the nations where you are in captivities. Don't do the things what they do. These heathen nations don't follow these heathen customs. And our people is in heavy in this shit. And through, like I said, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, we are in our solemn feast days and our holidays, I'll call them, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But like I say, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said, don't follow the ways of the heathens, because he can destroy you for that. And we know 2/3 will be destroyed for that, along with these heathen nations. And I can read that Jeremiah 10 and 2 again, and then I can close the lock here. It's the book of Jeremiah 10 and 2, and it reads, Salakia 10 and 2. Thus said the Most High, learn not the way of the heathens, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathens are dismayed at them. So following the ways of the heathens, Yahweh Shem Yahushua will destroy you for following the ways of the heathens, while doing the customs of the heathen, celebrating these Easters and Christmas and all different type of days or whatever, which we know is not scriptural. It's not of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And like I say, our people is really heavy into this shit. Real heavy into the shit. And they ain't trying to change, especially like in the times we are now. We in war times. We in the last days. And the prophecies are jumping off these pages. The prophecies are popping up every day. And our people still ain't see what's going on. They still celebrating and doing the ways, following the ways of these heathen nations, and the heathens doing things contrary to how Hashem Yahushua order. So that's something I wanted to bring out, through the spirit and power of Hashem Yahushua. Yeah, man, so with that, until I come back again, Shalom.